So I always thought that the whole thing with John Wick getting upset about the dogs was just kind of a weird like idea to start that whole movie. But then I actually looked into it. I was like, oh no, that explains why he went on a freaking like, bloodless seek revenge. Matt, what's your favorite kind of mustard?
What?
Yeah, as I can tell, you're going nowhere with this. So anyway, honey mustard for one thing. Actually, no, Dijon. Sorry, Dijon mustard.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, actually, this also here is one of my favorite little like, bits of comedy in this. I appreciate this part.
All right, let's
learn.
Let's take a look on how this guy handles the grappling hook.
Which, by the way, is a mechanic they'll introduce in the fourth game.
Huh?
Oh, there.
Oh, you did.
I just like the ability. That's impossible. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, that's impossible unless I did it, of course, in the fourth game. Also,
Well,
yeah.
I'll have to use that mechanic later.
Also, why the John Wick comment?
I don't know. I just was thinking, like, how could I just blindside
Everybody.
Hey, hurry, Tenzin, it's going to get you.
I'm gonna get you.
No,
To
actually bring it up, a lot of people actually do ask, why did John Wick get so angry just because his dog died? It's like, it's not his dog, it's the fact that that was his last gift from his fucking wife, dumbasses.
Who died,
Man,
and then
just...
that was just the only thing to remember her by, and then they got killed, and then there's like, holy shit, yeah, now makes a lot more sense why he went freaking nuts.
If that's gonna be... if that's going to be a prelude things, then I could just imagine how devastated Axel Stone's going to be when the kangaroo dies.
Yeah, so, the writer John Wick is apparently penned to do the,
Streets of Rage.
Yeah, Streets of Rage. Hello, Wolf.
Which, first off, I called it.
Yeah, well, you called that they were gonna make a movie for that probably next, and also I'm okay with that. Like, so we made a couple mentions to the Sonic movie. So in the very beginning, it's worth noting that at the very start of these movies, they now have an official Sega has officially made their own splash screen for Sega original film.
Yeah, and
which is why, especially after seeing the second time, I was like, I wonder what they're gonna do next now. Assuming this is not because they could have just called it Sonic Team film or something.
Here's the one thing I want them to do, because for the Sonic movie they zoomed in on Sonic and then zoomed out to show the other Sega games. One of the games on there is Streets of Rage. Do it for like each Sega, each movie based off a different property. Focus on that Sega game first.
I mean, honestly, the amount of games that were referenced on that splash screen alone is pretty impressive. Like, they got some pretty obscure ones, too. Like, I think Scars of Arcadia was there at one point.
Yakuza's on there as well.
I think I saw Space Channel 5, and I think Yakuza would probably be the most, I guess, you could consider no-brainer of a movie.
Well,
they have made one, but it's a bad movie. But they could make a proper Hollywoodized one.
Maybe. But yeah, no, I could honestly, Streets of Rage definitely seems like the safest choice they could pick at the moment, given that, the entire point of Streets of Rage, the whole series may as well just be its own,
Been dead a long time.
the Hollywood blockbuster involving a street brawl or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Must have been one of Schaefer's men.
Oh boy.
There we go.
But I mean, and I'd say, man, especially with more recent Yakuza titles, like, especially if they were to produce it, like, in Japan, like, they have a lot of, like, noteworthy Japanese actors already,
in Hollywood.
mocapping and or performing in those series.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Though, to be fair, I was thinking, like, a really good actor we could get for either the villain or main character. Still one of my favorites, Hiroyuki Sanada.
Alright.
He's just one of my favorite Japanese actors right now.
Actually, going back to that scene earlier, it's like, how's that for an icebreaker?
Ha ha. I'm the one who didn't even make the pun.
We know.
I'm too weak to slap by the yous.
Wait, slap by the what?
Slap the
I said
both
I'm
of
too
us.
weak to slap either of yous.
Oh.
Alright, so Tenzin wants us to go around and do the hard part. Okay, here we are.
Well, I can see how that's the hard part.
Yeah, his knuckles between the metal and now sheer ice, like his...
Yeah, he's not wearing any gloves! He's not wearing any gloves!
His fingers should not be feeling anything anymore. Let alone forming a solid grip on these things. Alright.
I mean, hey, even Sonic was, courteous enough to wear gloves while climbing on, like, literal ice shards.
Well, he wears gloves all the time. He has no excuse.
Yes, it was one of those things where I forgot why Knuckles has the little spikes in his Like, I always thought that was like, oh, it makes his punches even more, like, lethal, but then I realized, no, dummy, it's because that's how he climbs up rock walls.
Well, I mean, who's to say that that can't be a secondary use? Because, like, I'm sure being punched by those things
But guys,
would hurt.
guys, we have to ask the question in general. Everybody asks, why the hell does Knuckles even wear gloves? Especially that one guy. I mean, what in their right mind? What idiot in their right mind would do that?
It's one of those things where I will say, I'll mirror some comments. If that's the worst of the controversies that Arlo is ever going to deal with, dude got off pretty lucky in terms of the internet. But
no, it's even
know.
the fact of like he literally just couldn't tell. Oh, they're fucking boxing gloves because his name is fucking Knuckles.
It's one of those things where
that is
I
not how
appreciate-
grappling hooks work.
I do like the last 2 times, like you don't go straight up. That implies that the hook is just transparent. Anyway, I missed the jump the first time. So there we go. Oh jeez. I appreciate the differing viewpoint on some features of the movie, but there were some that again I would summarize Arlo's opinion as
Nitpicky?
at the very least uninformed. But okay, here's the other thing, because maybe you're right. Maybe there's a bit of a nitpicky thing to it, because I was also starting to look at it as the hell.
I mean, like, honestly, I'm not too surprised, because I think a lot of it, like, in my opinion, a lot of the nitpickiness kind of started with his Origami King review, because it's like, you know, say what you want about that game, it has its flaws. A large chunk of what Arlo says in that video was very nitpicky.
There was also that one, okay, here we go. There was also that one video that a comment said that there hasn't been that much controversy since the time he said a Nintendo Direct was just okay.
Did this?
How about that one? And oh, the wolves.
The poor doggos.
Oh.
So he's mentioning that there's like so I think at this point he's mentioning that there's like a scary ghost or like a monster that lives. So, you know, the huge. Man, what was it? So I was trying to look at it like, okay, Arlo is not a Sega fanboy. He's more the Nintendo dude. We get that, but
Barely.
So I'm trying to think. Okay, so for a Sonic movie, how does this movie work? How does this movie look to someone who's never played the Sonic games before, like who is not aware of that? So, but then I'm thinking like, well, even so, like even if someone had never played a Sonic game,
I love
then-
that effect there, by the way. That we thought
Same.
it was like part of the foreground wall and
Rocks.
all that rocks, but then it moved.
Always
So,
a fun
yeah.
little detail.
we're gonna have to deal with that a little bit later. But I was like, no, like even someone who's never so how I guess the issue was he went into a PG children's summer movie as somebody who wasn't fully informed or educated on the Sonic stuff all that much. Hence, you know, hence wondering why Knuckles' gloves look like that.
Did he ever watch the first movie as well?
He
or
did,
is
and he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't like that either, which again, like I understand, but so here's the problem. Here's the part where this becomes problematic for me to support him on all this is he went into this uninformed, but also wasn't willing to either accept or suspend disbelief to learn anything from the movie. He went into it expecting like a hand-prepared essay for him to look over and analyze from a PG Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I honestly feel like he just went in just knowing full well he was going to hate it and wanted every excuse to bitch at it.
Which that's also another point is he went into it already expecting like another strike for you. I don't know. I like to imagine him. I like to imagine him in the an early gun that may actually
Luger.
foreshadow things you're gonna learn if you know your world history in guns.
Really?
What was it? The POB? What's this called?
Luger.
Uh-oh.
And now we have Yetis.
Yetis.
Actual Yetis.
Evil Yetis.
I mean, honestly, the way it's built, it looks like it could very well just be a guy in a costume. But with agility like
know
that, I
what?
guess it could prove otherwise.
You know what? You got a point. It kind of looks a little short and stocky around. Whoa, jeez. But do not let his silly appearance fool you. He will destroy you if you are not ready. First of all, do not attempt melee combat with any of these things.
Yeah, kind of obvious. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Look, I'm just saying, Bentley wasn't that great of a playable character.
Now, if he moved like this, I'd be more inclined to support him.
Seriously.
Look at him. charge around. Okay, there we go.
Double. Ow, ow,
I don't
ow.
think he didn't. It didn't look like he hit you that second time.
Yeah, this slope is causing some weird hitboxes.
Oh shit!
Ow! Ow! Hey,
Oh,
stop!
Hey, stop
Ow!
it.
Stop just punching me.
well, he sure took a lot
So
of that punishment.
rude. Tenzin,
I'm
you
asking.
alright?
It's like, why won't you just die? I'm asking you the same thing.
I ask no questions around here. Come on.
Jeez,
Uh,
this guy can't catch a break.
Yeah, and they're all gonna be like this for a while. Oh, jeez. Because
Oh fuck, there's more.
There is much more.
there are many more of these things, but I will say that don't worry, they will either A, up the damage, or B, lower their health. Because if every ow,
Oh,
Tenzin,
Tenzin to the rescue!
Damn.
That was he didn't like all that stuff.
Just all the stabbing and smashing and busting and poor googies of the hood.
You brought a knife to a fist fight. That's cheating. I'm gonna tell my big brother on you.
Jesus, Gurgi was that fucking ripped.
I would. I'm not saying I want Gurgi like that, but I'm saying all tension would be immediately dropped if those things sounded like Gurgi.
If they're able to
I don't care how like Resident Evil, Eternal Darkness you make the son of a bitch look. If you make him sound like Gurgi, there's no going back.
By the way, you're welcome for allowing me to put that image in your head.
God. Also, really
I could actually see it just popping Gurgi's head on that thing. Anyway, go ahead, Matt.
No, just, yeah. Anyway, I just don't think... I think Arlo just went into the movie wanting to hate it, so, you know.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. Because I guess meanwhile, I'm not the biggest Sonic dude. Like, I know a bit about, like, the games and stuff, but, like, meanwhile, I went into... Wait, my turn. Here we go.
Whoa!
Whoops! You got a little too eager there, Beaver.
Meanwhile, I went into the movie knowing it was going to have some dumb kid jokes in it, but I just wanted a fun, dumb summer action movie, and I got that.
You know, it's funny, like, just very briefly, I was talking with my friend Andrew about, like, not about the movie, but about Sonic Prime, because I guess some website leaked the official, like, TV rating for it that was going to be, like,
Oh, really?
TV. Yeah, apparently it's going to be, like, TV7, because, you know, it's going to be, like, for
Ooh.
kids. And we were joking about how, like, oh, people are going to complain about this, and I'm like, so you're telling me that this franchise, that from its conception was made for young audiences, has a show for that very demographic? Complete heresy.
There we go. Took me a second to find that. And, I mean, again, that's just the unfortunate issue of the fan base growing. I mean, you could argue that Toy Story did it probably one of the best, in terms of what I'm about to say, is of the fan base aging up with the movies, with the content.
Yeah.
Like, while still being accessible to all ages. Like, Toy Story, you could argue, did that probably the best between its 3 movies.
Well, I think in the case of Toy
And
Story...
only those
like,
3 movies?
Well, I was about to say, in the case of those 3 movies, and I guess only those 3 movies, is that it fit with the theme of the movie itself, because, you know, Andy himself was growing up, and the movies were about, like, what the toys would be like when he was all grown up.
Also,
so, in that case, I think... Yes?
Sorry, no, you finish.
No, go ahead.
Must be getting somewhere.
Am I the only one that actually liked the 4th movie? No, it didn't add much to the others, but I actually thought it was a good fucking film.
The plot... I'll say the plot with Woody and the other toys of the plot with Woody and the other toys I thought was, I mean, with the toys he meets was fine. It was what they did to the girl that he had met. Yeah, no, the new Andy.
Oh, Molly.
Oh, yeah.
Molly. It's what they did with Molly's character and the stuff with Forky that I was a bit
Forky
about.
Forky was a problem for me, but honestly, I will say
Molly was obnoxious, like actually
yeah.
like shutting down emotionally because you didn't have the anyway, go ahead.
I loved the villain in the movie because they didn't try
the villain was
because they didn't actually try to make them a villain, and they had a reasonable thing for doing everything that they did.
Yeah. Okay, so we got to get down there. You can't just do that. Not even if you do it fast enough. Basically, we got ourselves one of, unfortunately, a couple now, a few buddy platforming sections. where I will go one way and Tenzin will go the other. And no, I cannot control as Tenzin, although that would have been an interesting little twist. But we're gonna have to work together to get through this, a la Star Allies.
Gotcha.
Go team!
Actually, just going back to Forky real quick, like, if that is true, that is a little disappointing, because I feel like, just the very premise of what they were wanting to do with Forky, I actually thought would have been, like, a really interesting thing for Toy Story to explore, because, like, the whole thing that they have with the toys is that, like, you know, their whole thing is, like, you know, their possessions owned by the kids, their whole job is making them happy. Then you have the idea of, like, what if a kid could just make their own toys? Like, would that devalue the toys that they already have?
Well, they definitely... Well, I'll say Woody definitely undergoes something like that, especially realizing, wow, I used to be, like, the favorite toy for someone, and now I just got replaced with little trash. But I thought they were going to explore the potential of you literally can just create life in this universe just by putting...
Yeah.
You can just do what Rare does, put googly eyes on anything, and bam, now the door is a toy. Now the house is a toy, and thus you got frickin' Casita from Encanto. All you need is just two big fat googly eyes, and bam,
Can somebody actually fucking animate, like, just do every single scene
Googly eyes.
where Casita is actually emoting and just adding googly eyes.
Also,
and they have to be googly eyes. The pupils have to be gyrating in completely unorthodox and unexplained ways.
someone
They
get that
can't look
enemy
like
from Ukulele and have them thrown onto the house.
Which that I thought was still a clever idea for Rareware to have that be the actual enemy that could possess other objects.
Yeah.
I just thought that they were a little too tanky for my liking.
Fair.
No, I want
What's that?
to do now a D&D campaign or something, or one shot where you have to
Where
fight.
you are a googly eyes character.
No, where one of the monsters you fight is you go into a room full of chests, and one of the chests is a mimic. But you can tell. But I will subtly mention that one of the chests has googly eyes, and that is the one with that is a mimic.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the whole Family Guy thing. No, I was in the bathroom. The Quonset hut and the newsstand decoys. No, anyway. James, do you have anything like? Have you seen Toy Story 4 with your Disney Plus yet?
I have
Oh,
not.
jeez.
Sad, and I know this might shock some people, but I haven't even seen the third movie yet.
Huh?
We
I
have
would say
some
that the
educating
third-
for you, bastard.
We
I
no,
know.
we were planning on doing that with our Pixar marathon eventually. Anyway.
Speaking of Logan, you and I need to watch it. We're talking about watching another movie again. I just remembered one that I need to still show you. Galaxy Quest.
Okay. Oh, we did.
Honestly,
yeah, I guess.
honestly,
go ahead.
I think I may have brought this up in an earlier commentary, or maybe off screen. I'm not entirely sure. But up until Turning Red, the last Pixar movie I've seen fully, like when it was like newly released, was I want to say either Ratatouille or WALL-E.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say that. I mean, I will say that.
Oh,
You are a dumbass.
That's pretty much me.
I
missed
that,
out
like, that one I
hard.
kept in because I loved how sudden the boonk. Anywho, I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that you missed out on a whole lot. You didn't even see Wreck-It Ralph.
Well,
That's not a
Wreck-It Ralph
Pixar
is
movie.
Pixar.
Oh, that's Disney.
That's straight up Disney.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Here's the
Okay.
thing. Here's the
I guess
thing.
that's the other thing is that
Logan,
after a
Logan,
while,
Logan,
that was when-
Logan.
yes.
Here's the thing about that movie. A lot of people confuse it for being a Pixar movie because it has the structure and ideas of a Pixar movie, whereas the Pixar movie that came out that year
It
was Brave, which had the structure and
Right.
thinking of a Disney
Disney.
movie.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Okay, but so I guess I would argue and say that after Ratatouille and WALL-E, I'm gonna have to look this up actually because let me see Pixar.
I know there was
While I'm
Toy
looking this
Story
up,
3, and then
while we're looking at while I'm looking this up, I will say that while
I know
I'm looking this up, I will.
and
go ahead.
then there was also Up and Inside Out, which I heard were really fantastic.
Inside
Inside Out's
Yeah,
amazing.
Inside Out is
Monsters
my
University I
favorite.
thought was a really fun prequel.
Inside
I
Out
like
is my
Monsters University.
Inside Out is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. So yes, definitely
Same.
watch
I
that.
And I
enjoy
love,
it,
and I
but,
love, and I
actually-
love that. And for what I have heard, I love that one of the characters is voiced by fucking Tom from the Tom and Jerry movie.
Oh.
Oh
yeah.
right.
Oh, Bing Bong!
Richard Kind.
Yeah, Richard Kind
Yep,
voices
that's
an
it.
imaginary friend named Bing Bong. You're going to cry. You're going to cry at him.
Potentially, but
I know,
yeah.
I know.
But beyond that, Monsters University, I did genuinely like as a prequel, and a couple reviewers said that it even managed to tell using Mike as like the character development and stuff, like it managed to tell a story that children's movies usually don't tell. Of like, I won't spoil that. Sorry. But after that, like,
I know there was a lot of sequels.
a lot of sequels. Then there was The Good Dinosaur, which just kind of happened.
Yeah, which just kind of happened. Like, I haven't seen that yet, and even I know that it just happened. And it's like, let me see. Then there's Incredibles 2, and if I personally liked Finding Dory. Like, I know a lot of people... Oh, boy. Like, I was about to say, I know a lot of people hated Finding Dory, but I honestly thought it was fine.
I think Finding Dory is good. Yeah.
The characters were alright, but I thought the premise was a little... Coco, I like Coco.
Coco's another good one.
Coco is my third favorite Pixar movie.
And then Incredibles 2 was okay, and then
Actually,
there was Toy Story 4. Has anyone here seen Onward?
I have not, yeah.
No.
Me neither.
I
I was
heard
tempted to, but I just didn't have the chance to.
I heard the beginning is really rough, but it eventually gets really good about a quarter of the way through.
Okay. And then I saw Soul, which the story may be a bit rough around the edges, but I think the premise and especially the early part of the visuals are really neat and how it tries to depict the afterlife. But I agree that, and I won't say anything else about it to James, but Matt will know what I'm talking about. Is that I am in the camp that I almost wish the ending was a little more open ended.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
Have not seen Luca.
Luca's decent. I like that. Also, I will say
that one was good.
one thing I will say, I do want to watch Onward simply for the fact that there are legitimate D&D monsters in that, and they even credit Wizards of the Coast and got permission from
Oh, really?
them. Yeah.
Nice.
Like the fucking
Wizards of the Coast being the developers of it?
Wizards of the Coast are the people that own D&D. So they own they own the rights to those monsters.
Because I thought it was Gygax who did that, unless he like either worked there or sold them the rights eventually later.
Gygax? What?
Freaking. Give me a second.
Sorry,
here.
yeah, sorry. You're going to have to send it.
Well,
No worries, I'm looking it up right now. Gary Gygax
Oh, Gary
was
Gygax.
an American game designer and author best known for co-creating Dungeons & Dragons with Dave Arneson.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. I think he might still work for Wizards. I'm not sure. Wizards now.
I'll look into that, but
Wizards now own the right to D&D and all that, but like they legitimately, like I heard that a beholder and a gelatinous cube are in the movie.
nice.
Which beholder is my
and-
favorite. Is my favorite like
Oh, the Beholder's
just
great.
D&D monster.
which is why I love the Beholster in Enter the
I
Gungeon.
fucking love the beholster.
Such an awesome idea and design for just a freaking beholder with all of his tentacles holding 6 shooters.
Oh yeah, so for those who are still watching, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you are enjoying our current
Oh.
podcast inside the Uncharted 2 commentary.
I mean, the platforming is it's the platforming. It's not bad. It's just, it's definitely like...
I mean, you don't.
I like it.
You don't know that people aren't interested in our tangents.
Jeez. Just gotta keep moving, Oh, jeez, Tenzin's
I mean,
like
I guess
a
if I'll
freaking
say,
sly
I'll still
fox.
say if I'll say anything else about this whole tangent, it's like as an avid Nintendo and classic Sonic fan, I enjoyed the heck out of Turning Red.
Yeah, I love Turning Red. I will say as
That
well,
was also fun.
by the way, last thing about Onward and the whole D&D, or not just Onward, but fucking, I love how slimes in video games are usually treated as the weakest enemies, just the, EXP fodder and stuff like that, whereas slimes in D&D are the most fucking horrifying shit ever.
What are they?
It's like Dark.
acidic?
Well, it's like Dark Souls, where it's like. Well, it's like Dark Souls, where like they're just like they're treated as like an amorphous blob of flesh, and/or with still like digested remains of their previous victims floating around in there.
Exactly. Yeah, and the fact that they are slimes means that weapons pretty much do fucking nothing.
Right, you need magic,
Yeah.
which is also something from Dark Souls.
Yep.
Honestly, I'll show you the Dark Souls slimes. They're probably the closest to what you think D&D slimes are. Anyway, finally, sorry, back to the game. We finally found Schaefer's old crew that he went up here with. Oh, great.
Uh-oh. But we'll be okay, right?
We should be fine. There's an alternate exit, but for now, it's time to meet up with Schaefer's old crew. And
Also, was it just me, or did the the outside of this entire room kind of look like the hilt of our dagger?
Oh, yeah, I can
Yeah,
kinda see
you're
that.
right.
But yeah, here's the issue. Well, first off, there's more of that that icon with some more of that resin, I believe. Yep, bingo.
Oh boy, a whole lot of what's the name of that
Tings?
ding? Not that. I'm thinking of like they're like cinnamon popsicles you put in your mouth.
Oh, for Altoids.
Altoids, thank you.
Mint flavored Altoids. But yeah, they were all shot
These men were all
Oh.
shot.
before they died, and here's the problem.
Oh, that's the Irman Sul. It's the life tree.
Hopefully you understood all that.
Honor Nerbe. Oh, Jesus. They were SS.
Shit out of sauce.
No
Uh,
Nazis.
Gotcha.
From World War One.
That would
I
be
will fucking
SOOS.
punch you in the throat, you goddamn bastard.
Also, Gems, that acronym's inaccurate. It would be SOOS.
Oh,
That's true.
SS, oh yeah, shit. Anyway, but so that is why Schaefer wanted to stop his men because
Oh, they were gonna
as a-
turn into the Yetis.
and imagine fighting Nazi Yetis. Who would have turned the tide of history?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just like the Revolutionary War.
I
Jeez.
knew it.
And I thought I'd seen the last of the bullshit that I saw in Until Dawn.
Logan, I know what you're doing, by the way. I will hurt you.
I was the
What?
one that said that.
No, the Revolutionary War joke.
I
That
was
was
the one
hot-
that
that
said
was-
Oh,
that.
that's
that's
what he
Steve.
said.
Oh, okay, sorry. You said it so under your breath, I thought it was Logan for a sec. I'm going to punch you, too.
Oh,
I'm going to
sick,
punch
but
you,
not
too.
that sick.
Hey, that time I said it knowing that it was gonna sound dumb.
So alrighty, what are they all now freaking out about? Watching the next part. We're not alone anymore.
Oh no.